Perfect. Also gonna share my screen right now. So I may not be able to see you guys, or it's fine, but yeah. Let me know if you guys are seeing. Thumbs up. All right. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us today and for this information session regarding the RFP, the 2023-2024 fundings, BOEF fundings that already is live on our website, and that folks, anybody or any organizations that have connection with businesses have the opportunity to apply for those fundings. And we're going to talk about the details about the fundings. I also talk about, we'll begin with the introduction of the folks who are here and the name of the organization that they're representing, as well as one thing that that they hope to learn from this presentation. And then we're going to talk about a brief history about labor standards. We're also going to talk about, which is the most important piece, which is a business outreach and education fund. We'll talk about the purpose, the funding, expectation. We will talk about the request for proposal. We'll also talk about reporting requirement. We'll talk about evaluation criteria, as well as challenge, the previous challenge we had, and also lesson learned. So there's going to be an opportunity where we'll talk about all this in depth. And yeah, folks, if they have questions, we'll have an opportunity to ask questions. And I want to begin by saying thank you so much for showing up for this session. It's important for us to have you and talk to you about how this RFP is going to look like. And as I said, I'm a business engagement specialist, and I'm the one who currently oversee the Business Outreach Education Fund. And I've been with the office since 2019. And yeah, I'm the one who is the contact person for this current grant. I also have Rebecca, who is the new outreach manager. She just took yesterday a vaccine, a booster, so she's not feeling that well. But if you, Rebecca, if you just want to say your name, or
Yeah, it's nice to see everybody here. I'm Becca. I'm the new outreach manager. Started in June, so I'm excited to learn more about all of you and help support Ahmed during this process. And I'm definitely one of the points of contact. If Ahmed's unavailable, I will be helping out to answer any questions during the RFP period. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for coming when you are not feeling well. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And now we're gonna move on to you, and please introduce yourself with the name and organization and what you hope to achieve. Yeah, and I will appoint one person. You can go ahead and also do the same once you're done. So I see on the screen, Gigi, do you wanna begin?
Sure. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Sorry for not having the camera on. My computer has been very slow lately, so. But I'm Gigi. I'm from the ECCC team. We've been doing this, the outreach to our local businesses. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and it's one thing that I really enjoy doing, talking to these business owners and helping them navigate through the labor laws in the city of Seattle. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you wanna pass on to?
I can pass it on to Wesley.
Okay, thanks, Gigi. Hey everyone, my name is Wesley. I am also with the Ethnic Chambers of Commerce Coalition. Been working in the project in the past 4 years, and really looking forward to learn from Ahmed and the team as to what the new scope of work and deliverables going to look like. Really looking forward to continue our engagements and work with the local businesses and really make it a better community moving forward. So really nice talking to you and meeting with everyone.
Thank you. All right, I don't have the full screen. Do you want to pass on to?
I'm going to pass it to Martha.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Martha.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, this is Martha Lee. I'm with the Ethnic Chamber of Commerce Coalition. We have been engaged in this program the last few years and met a lot of people. And Gigi and Wesley has been a vital part of this program, doing door-to-door and also as other program. So we're looking forward to continue our participation with this project. I'd like to pass over to is it Dory?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Martha. This is Dora Kopanix with BDS Planning and Urban Design, and I look forward to your presentation to see if this makes sense to our group or not.
Thank you, Dory. And Peter, do you want to go next? Hello, are you still there?
We can hear you, Ahmed. I'm not sure about Peter.
Yeah, Peter, we can't hear you. All right, maybe Taylor.
Hello, my name is Taylor. I'm with LGBTQ allyship, and I'm just here to hear from this perspective on the other side. We usually work with clientele and people that work in the industry, but I'm wondering if the business outreach is a type of location that we might want to consider. And I will pass it off to Eli.
Hi, my name is Ellie. I'm from Uplift Northwest, and I am just looking to find out a little bit more and to see how it might apply and benefit our programs here at Uplift. I will pass it on to, I'm not sure who has done it. Has Wesley?
Yeah, Thomas.
Okay.
Thomas.
Hi, everybody. My name is Thomas White. I'm an account manager with Kelly Nonprofit Consulting, and I came across your request for proposals for this program while just doing some evaluation of opportunities for an organization I work with, and I thought this sounded like a really good opportunity for them to partner with, but I just wanted to come and hear more about the program and the expectations of the partnership and what y'all are looking for.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
I think that's it. I don't see any other. Is there anyone that have not gone yet? All right. Thank you all for showing up today's info session, and hopefully, my hope is that you will understand these fundings and why these fundings, and the reason why we have these fundings. You will have that understanding at the end of the presentation. But if there is always at the end of the presentation, if there's questions that comes up that you want to know between now and before the deadline, which is October 14, feel free to reach out to me. And as I put my information is out there, ahmed.abdi@seattle.gov. I'll be more than happy to assist you with the questions that you may have. You can also contact Rebecca too as well. Now I'm going to talk about a brief timeline about our office and the first law that was enacted and the reason why the office was created, Office of Labor Standard, and also our mission as well. And I'm not going to talk a lot about the laws because the reason for this session is to probably like guide you on how you can apply and what are the expectation of this application. And once once the process is completed, and if someone were to qualify, then that opportunity of like giving them an in-depth training will be given all organizations that in the future that get this grant funding. Sorry. So to begin, our mission is to advance labor standards through thoughtful community and business engagement, strategic enforcement, and innovative policy development with a commitment to race and social justice. That is what our mission, that's what we adhere to when we talk about our office. And now I'll begin the timeline in terms of when the first law that was created. And I will talk about that. And then, so the first law that was created or was enacted was Paid Sick and Safe Time, 2012. That was when the first passed. And also following that, 2013, Fair Chance Employment was created as well. At this time, these two laws were enforced by the Office of Civil Rights by then. And our office was not in existence at that moment. But on 2014, the mayor convened an income inequality advisory committee to craft minimum wage policies. And that was when the move of higher minimum wage, 15 minimum wage, was coming from CTEC, and that's led by the entire nation, and that was coming towards Seattle. And then the mayor and the city council convened a labor standard advisory committee to address wage theft and to suggest ways to strengthen labor standards implementation. So that committee that was both included businesses as well as labor organizations. By 2014, city council passed a legislation creating the Office of Labor Standards as a new division within the Seattle of Civil Rights. So by end of 2014, still our office was created, but the office was part of the Office of Civil Rights by then. And April 1st, 2015, the office, there are a couple of ordinances that gave birth to OLS, which is minimum wage and wage theft ordinance. So those were the two ordinances that immediately after the creation of the Office of Labor Standard that came to exist. And I'm going to talk about, as you can see the slide, we have a quite number of laws now from 2012 to where we are right now. And they are about 16 ordinances that we have at the moment, which includes secure scheduling, domestic workers, commuter benefits, hotel employee and safety protection. And there are a couple of for specific industries, such as hotel, domestic workers, and there are ones that are broad for all employers that have employees within the city of Seattle. So the ones that are exception for specific industries are hotel, employee safety protection, which was created 2019, and then protecting hotel employee from injury, which was the same time, and then improving process to medical care for hotel employees, which is the same time as well. And then hotel employee job retention, which was created all of them at the same time in 2019. And then afterwards, during the pandemic, TNC driver deactivation rights was 2020 was enacted, and as well as the TNC minimum compensation, which both of them was 2020. And however, these two ordinances, it has been preemptive by the state one. So there's a new law that the state has passed, which is going to preempt these two laws beginning 2023, I believe January 2023. But between now and until then, these laws are enforced by the Office of Labor Standard. And then there's also a new law which called Independent Contractor Protection, which is also enacted this year, and as of September, it's active. And then also and another law that's on the process, which is pay up ordinances that is only tailored towards big workers, and yeah, so that it's still on the process of rulemaking, and yeah, but this will be the newest one that we have at the moment. So as you can see in a nutshell, that we have quite a number of ordinances that the office is mandated to enforce and oversee. The expectation is that anyone that or any organizations that will be applying for this RFP that want to apply, and the expectation is to have folks having connection with any of these laws that folks who are let me say businesses that are covered by these ordinances. So if you have connections to either or any of these ordinances, and folks who are covered by all this industry, sorry, if you have connections with these industries, then that would be really a good an opportunity for the office to have that connection as well. Rebecca, do you want to say anything, add or anything? I know you're not feeling well, but anyway.
Yeah, sorry. No, I think, yeah, we have a wide portfolio of labor standards, as you can see, touching on many different industries and continuing to touch on more industries as new labor standards are passed by council and signed in by the mayor. I think you might have mentioned this, Ahmed, but as part of the training for selected, for folks that are selected through the RFP process, there will be extensive trainings provided that give you more information about all of the different ordinances so that you can further help and advise businesses or prospective business owners on the labor standards as well.
Yes, thank you for filling in. Yeah, definitely, as I said earlier too, and as Becca mentioned, we will you don't have to worry if you don't know these laws. We'll definitely support you to making sure that you understand and you have all the resources that you need in the future to do outreach. Yeah, I'm gonna go to oops. Why did they do that? Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about oilers and oilers major activities. And as you can see, the major we are an enforcement agency, right? So there's no doubt about that. So the big focus for for our office is to enforce these laws. However, we also have outreach and education to workers and as well as businesses. I myself, I'm from that part of outreach group of people that are are there to help all businesses as well as the workers as well. So it's not only that we merely focus on enforcement, but we also provide an outreach and education. And that's why this money or this RFP exists, to support that and that portion of our work. And then also there's compliance assistant for businesses, meaning that if business have questions about these laws, they will contact us and we would guide them, or we would provide them the information they need, not provide them an advice, but we will provide them the information they need to succeed, So either informations or resources about the law, we'll provide them and so that they can succeed and voluntarily comply with these laws. We also have a policy development, policies that the side of the policy are the ones who are always, create and all these standards. They're the ones who are responsible of these standards. So this is the overview of our office and what the major activities we have in our office. Great. So
I just wanted to add one thing.
Okay.
For compliance assistance, which is also called technical assistance.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make really, really clear for everyone that when that is kept confidential, so any businesses or business entity that calls in, that information is kept confidential from the enforcement side. So folks in outreach, so Ahmed or our other team members in outreach or in policy will be answering those questions, and enforcement doesn't get to see who called, what the question was, anything like that. So it is kept confidential, so you can ask questions without, any sort of fear that enforcement's going to then come and start an investigation on you as a result of your inquiry.
Great. Thank you for making that distinction and clarity. So now I'm going to move on to Business Outreach Education Fund, what it does. And it actually facilitates to small business to increase awareness and compliance with the Seattle's labor standards. So the goal is this funding is to increase compliance, right? And there's a lot of businesses that are not aware or maybe not have enough or how to go by and get this information that they need in order to comply the labor standards with the city of Seattle. So this is to make easier for such employers so that they can get the information that they need in order to self-comply with the Seattle Office of Seattle Labor Standards. And then also the funding emphasizes outreach to business owners by low income and historically disenfranchised communities who typically are not served by the traditional outreach method. So the essence of this is to also reach out to those who are the most vulnerable in our community. And those include the ones that have language barriers that may not be able to get all the necessary information that they need. And that includes both businesses as well as employees, right? So employees who it's hard for them to know their rights, and employers who it will be difficult for them to get to obtain this information for the employees. So this is that is what is the intention of this outreach and business outreach and education fund is for. The funding cycle is from it's for a 24-month contract period. The funding available for 2023 are anticipated to be $550,000, and the same amount will be proposed for 2024. However, the available funding is contingent upon sufficient appropriate by the City Council in 2023 and 2024 adopted budget. And I say this because there are unforeseeable things that could happen in the budget, and so that can change the nature of what we have. But this is 24 months contract period, and that is the expectation is the same amount will be allocated 2024 as well, based on the outcome of the city budget on 2023. Business Outreach and Education Fund. So the expectation for this Business Outreach and Education Fund is, as I said earlier, is to assist the small businesses, right? Assisting the small businesses, number one. Number two is create connection and partnership with the businesses community. So, naturally or mostly businesses tend not to have a direct connection or with the enforcement agencies, right, such as ours. So this is since organizations that have connections and relationship with these businesses, and once they take and once they get the funding, the expectation is for that for them to create that connection between the Office of Labor Standard and bring the partnership to us, so that the business feel that not only us as an office, an enforcement agency, that we as Becca said, that when they call us, we really adhere to that privacy, and we're not going to share with the rest of the office, which is the enforcement side, if they have enforcement issues, and we'll help them. So that connection is what we are looking for. And also, as well as building trust and learn how we can best serve and interact with the community. And as an enforcement agency, we are human. We may not have that much of understanding of these different diverse communities that live in the city of Seattle and businesses. So the hope is that the organizations that apply have those connections, will bring those connections to us, and they will also help us understand how we can better serve these communities of ours that we are part of. Now we want to talk about the RFP process. The RFP process is to develop and inform with input. This RFP process was developed. I'm talking about the RFP currently we have. When in 2017, when it was put together, it was developed and informed with the input from the community, including the small business organization led by people of color. So it wasn't just created, but we had a process where we have talked to community organization that represent people of color, and we gathered their input as well to include in this RFP in this Business Outreach and Education Fund, as well as the RFP process. And in 2020, I believe there was there was a committee that was stakeholder created and was given a feedback in terms of how to make it easier for folks who may have some barriers in terms of and have connection with the community, but have barriers in terms of in terms of applications and those and whatnot. So that discussion has happened, and there was some input from this committee, and which incorporated by the RFP funding. And some of the example is that there was some suggestion that we include an oral presentation instead of only written applications. So that was one of suggestions, and which we'll talk about. We also now have an interview in person, or what do you call that? sorry, not in person, where we'll have an interview. Once the folks apply, then we can talk about that process, what it's going to look like as well. I'm going to talk about, and someone asked, I think, this question earlier. So the typical outreach and OLS, first of all, OLS, this funding does not simply, try to outsource the outreach. Rather, our office is is an anchor and source of supporting for the organization. So we're not trying to outsource this our work, right? So, but we want to support the businesses, and how we support is, first of all, increase knowledge. So we definitely try to work with these organizations, the organizations that apply, that are awarded. We'll work with them to increase their knowledge, as well as increase capacity, and then also increase collaboration. So that is how we are going to work with organizations that will be selected. And the intention is not to outsource the work, but it's rather to work with this organization and help them as well. And I'm going to talk about there are a couple of components that include in the RFP, and one of the most important component of this RFP, the BOEF funding, it's how we are requiring folks when it comes to reporting. So what are the reporting requirements? So there are a couple of reporting requirements here, and although most of detailed in terms of what that requirement will look like, it's going to come once folks are selected, and then that created that contract between us and them. That will have detailed information about what those requirements would look like. However, this is the expectation that that the reporting should include a verification of events, and that whatever the organization does with regards to the BOEF funding, it should be some sort of verification that included in the reporting. And then also quantitative reporting, which is, as you all understand, is the number of outreach or training, and that entails this whatever the contract is. And then finally, a qualitative report, which is basically a reflection of how the businesses, and when that interaction happens, what is the response from businesses? Is the outreach is helpful to the businesses? And then if they are challenged, what are the challenges, and how that challenge is how is responded to those challenges in order to resolve them. So this will be the core verification requirement. One, to verify all the outreach and most of the outreach that's done. Two is quantitative report, as well as three, and qualitative reporting requirements. So those are the three requirements that I hope I made clear. Is there any question about this? Okay. And now I'm going to talk about the evaluation criteria. And folks people that apply and go through interviews, and the expectation is for those folks to have a clear strategy, or when they are actually submitting the application, is to have a very clear strategy in terms of how they are going to conduct scope, what the scope of work is going to look like, and how they're going to do that work that they that they have the intention of doing so. So having a very clear strategy around that. And then also folks who have like organizations that have creativity and innovation, meaning that the way in which that they can, because if you look at the outreach has been changing, especially since the pandemic. It has changed to different ways and moved from one way to another way. So, folks who come up or showcase creativity and innovation are the folks that considered. Also understanding business needs, as well as tracking business community, as well as the industries. So we are looking at the folks who have this type of either strategies or ways on which that they are going to conduct these outreach activities. So I'm going to talk about a little bit some challenge that we have seen in the past, especially with the current BOEF funding. So this includes, but not limited to, that employers normally don't have time. Like when folks do outreach to employers, employers don't normally have enough time to talk to you, right? So those are some of the challenges that folks who are doing the outreach are having to deal with. And then also misinformation about our office and with regards to how OLS is looking for violation rather than providing any assistance to support businesses. So like folks who think that we're only there to only to catch the business on aha moment, but not rather give them an the resources that they need. So that misinformation is out there, and then the general lack of trust in the city government and folks who don't like sharing information with the city government as well. So that is also challenge that are out there. And then also the national political climate is also somewhat is also some of the challenge that could exist out there. And then employers relying solely on outsourced HR and professional services for labor standard guidance. So employers that mostly relying on solely on outsourced HR and professional services for labor standard guidance. So these are the numbers. These are the issues that we have come across in the past years, including this current RFP when it comes to fundings, when it comes to challenges that we see doing this kind of job, this kind of work. However, so the lessons that we have learned include that when it comes to outreach, sources of information can vary by community to community. So it's not all community like get information the same way. Folks get from different ways, and so yeah, you have organizations will have to know. I mean, like what's how and where those how and where and when different communities have communication, and then also door-to-door canvassing with multiple touch in most successful ways to engage with the business owners. So door-to-door has been one of the ways that has been most successful for folks who are doing those door-to-door, rather than folks who, their business model is that they wait until folks come to them. So that is that. And then employers that are more engaged with labor standard information is leveraged with other relevant business information. So employers generally, when they are providing other information that they need, is generally when they are more receptive. So, but if you're only trying to engage them in the labor standards, that may not be necessarily well received. So if you are engaging with other information, that's when mostly receptive. And employers want access to information in various languages. So and this is important because our office, we try our best to have to provide labor standard information, the one that are most critical, especially such as the workplace posters, fact sheets, about I believe about 16 languages we have. We also have an opportunity where if a business want to ask for additional language, that we can also provide them those materials translated to the additional language that come up. Excuse me. So that, and if you go to our website, you can find all the fact sheets in all these 16 different languages, and including other important documents that we have, workplace process as well. And as I said, if folks need, and we also have that open to helping or creating information in other language that may not exist may not be housed in our website. And then templates and examples of reporting documents are also helpful than words. So folks, for example, when the lessons that we learned is that when you go to businesses, if you just tell them, hey, you do this, and for example, this is how you need to comply with wage theft, they rather have an example of what that compliance looks like, rather than just you telling them an information about just a mere information. So what we saw is that that it's helpful for business to have that specific information on their hand, in their hand. Any questions so far?
Ahmed, this is Wesley from ECCC. I do have a questions regarding templates and examples. So moving forward, the city of Seattle actually provides us with templates that we all partners can use while distributing this to the business owners? Or is this something that we have to create ourselves, have your team from the OLS verify and validate before we could actually distribute it as a part of an information during our outreach and education sessions?
Good. This is a good question. Thank you, Wesley. There are some example documents that we have on our website, right? So such as what is called wage theft template out there. I don't know if you forgot. Yes.
Yeah, we have the notice of employee information template on the website currently. We have a few other templates, including our domestic workers engagement notice of rights and employee information template to work through with any domestic workers that hiring entities might engage with. Also, with our new independent contractor protections, we have templates for both the pre-engagement information and the compensation, essentially the pay stub equivalent for independent contractors, that information. That's in a template form. I believe we have other templates as well. They're just not coming to the top of my head in my post-vaccine fogged brain.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning those couple. Yeah, so those we have the model that the business can use, right? But if an organization wants to help, things that are not templates that we don't have, if they, based on the law language, if they want to put together something for businesses that they can benefit, I mean, you can do so. The only thing is, if you have to put or less on the page, then we have to see and verify those information. But if you were to independently do create your own outreach material, and you're doing that based on the information, the training or the information that we have for you, then you can we don't have to see all the materials that you create. However, we one of the ways recommended is to share with us so that I can have those materials or that you're sharing. Put that folder of what materials that's used out there for business outreach education on behalf of the Business Outreach Education Fund. But yeah, you can, if there's a specific language or specific materials that you want to use, that, as I said, on your own, you can do as long as you share with me, and I don't have to dictate on when and how. But if there is if we will have all of our logo and your logo together, then our communications have to approve that. If that makes sense.
Perfect. Thanks,
Now,
Ahmed. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Rebecca. Go ahead, Martha.
We had this handbook that ECCC created years ago. And
we do have those, Martha, but the problem is that some of the language involves legalese, and some of this legalese can be interpreted in multiple different ways when we're talking to business owners. So I was just wondering if there's any standardized template that has already been approved and ratified by the city that we can use, so we do not have to make any significant adjustments or modification, because those ordinances are written in such a very vague languages that it can be interpreted in multiple different ways from businesses. From my experiences, business owners actually have problems understanding it. Even their business lawyers do have questions about how does the city and their legal team actually interpret some of the law, specifically to ordinances such as the paid sick and safe time. So I was just asking if maybe OLS have updated their, which it looks like it, because Rebecca mentioned earlier that for some of the new ordinances, we do have some templates already. So maybe our team hasn't been exposed to those templates. So maybe that is something that I just need to, basically look into more closely, especially if we get this round of fundings again next year, so that we can utilize it rather than developing our own.
Yeah.
I think just to add to that, with the BOEF, like we recognize, and the reason that we have this grant program is that you work with lots of different businesses. You all collectively are subject matter experts in the fields of these businesses. So we would love to collaborate more on co-creating resources that are more sector or industry specific. I think that would be like in the going forward would be helpful. So for example, right now we have the new independent contractor protections that went live September 1st. We have one template that is kind of just a template, a one-size-fits-all template, which obviously one-size-fits-all doesn't necessarily fit best for each sector. So as we go forward and we learn more, and our partners engage with businesses more, or hiring entities more, and we engage with independent contractors more, I think that the goal and the vision is to create more sector-specific templates that might speak more towards each sector, because different sectors, different types of independent contractors get paid on different bases, whether it's per item or per hour or per gig. So there's lots of different ways. And so trying to make things that are a little bit more tailored going forward, I think is going to be more helpful. But for the time being, we just had a kind of a general one so that people could be compliant with the law when it launched on September 1st, and then we can learn as we go with creating more useful templates.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you, Rebecca, for clarifying.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's helpful. Thanks for the questions. And as we continue this funding, we will definitely will be working together to achieve and help those businesses and provide them the information in order to provide them the information that they need. So thank you all. All right. After applying after receiving the applications and when the application time date is closed, there's going to be an interview, right? Last time, this is a method that we use, the same method that we used last time, meaning that once application is submitted, and then we'll have an opportunity. There's a group of a selected committee from either different departments, including ours, will be assigned to review those applications that folks submit, and then we'll have a date that we're gonna send out for folks to join the interview. So the interview is going to take about 40 to 45 minutes interview. That's what the interview is going to be. And this interview, prior to having or conducting this interview, folks will receive up to 5 questions that is intended to talk about the applicants and about their intention and how they will be doing this outreach. So that then we're gonna send them before the interview, and so that they can come unprepared. At this time, we are not gonna, traditionally before this current BOEF, what we used to do is we used to, invite folks, and then they used to talk about the organization. And that we realized that there was a lot of redundancy there. So that's why we changed to this model, which is we provided some questions, and then those questions, based on those questions, you will come prepared, and then you will answer those questions. After that, those questions, the folks can have a follow-up question based on the questions around how you answer, and then once that is done, there is going to be those selection committee would convene to give recommendation to whoever that will be the next funders that we're going to fund the next round of fundings. And applicants that need an interpretation service must send their request by October 14, which means the same time that the application is due. And this is going to give me a couple of days to find out what that interpretation looks like, to find out an interpreter for that time. So yeah, and that services is available for folks and when they need it. And then 4 is that the interview will be recorded the same way that we're doing right now, and it will be also a subject to Public Disclosure Act. The reason why we want to record is that we want we assume that there could be many applicants that apply for this grant, for these fundings, and that we want to give an opportunity where the selection committee can review, even if they are absent, that recorded interview and make based on that the judgment or their recommendation. So this is going to be recorded, and is going to be a subject for Public Disclosure Act. Any question about the interview process or expectation? Great. So yeah, so this is that's what is going to happen. However, now we come to the last part of the final part of the our information session. So I want to encourage you and the folks that within your network to forward this information. We're gonna put this recorded webinar, this recorded info session to our website, so folks can go back and listen to what we have discussed and have that opportunity. And so we have the deadline is until October 14, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And so folks are expected to submit their application by then. And when you go to our website, you will find the RFP guide, and you'll find there on how you're going to apply these fundings. You will also find there are 3 attachment A, B, C, and D, 4 attachments, sorry, that comes with the application. So once you read the application guideline, then you will have to fill those attachments and then submit with your organization information and how you responded to those questions. The attachments is fillable. That it has a space where you can fill the questions that are there, and yeah, and then any additional information you can also include. The submission or where you will submit to those information is also on our website. Once you go to 2023 request for proposal page, so that is where you will find how you can submit your application, and you will submit it to the labor standard email. That's what you're gonna submit it to. However, if there is a special request, such as I said, translation, you would reach out to me so that I can prepare those interpretation services for you. So that is the final to our information session. And this is my information, including my work number, as well as Becca's information and email. So thank you. That now we're open for any questions that you may want to ask.
Ahmed, it's Martha. When do you plan to have the individual interview?
The individual interview will be the week of 17th of October. So week 17, yes, is the interview. And yeah.
And when do you expect that OLS will make a final review and decision announcement?
That is a very good, and Becca can also you can chime in for more information. So not normally, sometime in October, like last week of October, probably at some point, let's say 27th of October, the interview process will complete, and then the selection committee will make a recommendation to the head of the department. And so once that recommendation is made, then it goes from our office to the mayor's office, and then sometime December, and OLS will make that announcement, or they will send either the denial or the acceptance letter to everybody who applied at that time. So the expectation is January 2013, the work will begin and for this funding cycle.
Okay, I hear the final decision on October 27, but then I think I heard you said we won't know until December.
Yeah, no, the recommendation will be made on October 27, hopefully.
Oh, I see. Just the final approval. It's
the final approval is between then it's gonna take probably a month or so.
Yeah, okay.
I can't say exactly the time, but yeah. So once we, from our end, once we make the recommendation, then that is between the office and the mayor office. So yeah, but the expectation is to announce sometime in December, and then begin the contract itself January 1st.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. Any other question? All right. We first of all, we thank you for joining today's session. We really thank you. We also hope that you will share with your network, your organizations that you think are in a place where they want to do or they can do this work, to connect us to the community, the business community out there, so we can better serve them. So if you share this information with them, so that they can make use of this opportunity and submit the application prior to October 14th. And that will be really great, and we appreciate if you do that on our behalf. We also encourage you, if you have a further question, something comes up for you, you can reach out to me. I'll be happy to talk to you through about those questions you may have. This recorded session will be on our website, so that folks who wanna listen to and hear what we have discussed today, they will have that opportunity for them too as well. Becca, is there anything you wanna add before we close?
No, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today, and yeah, definitely reach out if you have any questions or need any assistance.
Great, thank you, Becca. Thank you, everyone. We do appreciate again, and so yeah, and have a beautiful day, and thank you for making time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ahmed. Thanks, Becca. Signing off.
Hey, Becca.
Hey, do you know how to stop recording?
Okay, so would I just, okay, if I say stop recording, okay, I hope it doesn't disappear. Stop recording.